Avatar: The Way of Water isn't just a sequel, it's an argument. It argues that cinema's greatest currency is spectacle, that a director's ambition can still justify 3 hours of your time, and that family melodrama can sit inside a CGI ocean and still land emotional punches. But here is the catch. When a movie invests so heavily in craftsmanship, does it earn the right to be narratively lazy? Today I'll defend the film's technical triumphs and hold its script accountable. And I'll explain why this is the most expensive, most beautiful, and most divisive blockbuster in recent memory. In short, Way of Water is a technical Everest, breathtaking, immersive, and often transcendent. And at the same time, it's a film that repeats the original story blueprint without the same narrative bite. It's both a triumph and a compromise.
This family.
James Cameron returned to Pandora after more than a decade with an explicit brief. Make the sequel so cinematic, the theater matters again. He delivered 3 hours and 12 minutes of world building, motion capture oceanography, and family drama that centered Jake and Neytiri's new life and the survival of their children. The film premiered in December 2022 and immediately became one of the highest grossing films of all time. Those stakes, financial and cultural, are the frame we need before talking about what the movie does right and where it trips.
I know one thing. Wherever we go.
Technical achievement, visuals, sound, and motion capture. This is where Cameron's mastery is undeniable. The underwater sequences are not just pretty, they are a technical reset. The way Na'vi bodies move through water, the refracted light, the bubbles, the fauna, everything is painstakingly rendered to feel physically present. The film's visual effects were recognized with major awards and nominations, not because studios were being generous, but because the team solved real, hard engineering problems to sell an environment we'd never seen before at this fidelity. Sound design and Hans Zimmer's adjacent scoring arrests the viewer and places you inside the volume of the scene rather than just in front of it. These elements combine to make a version of cinematic immersion that remains rare in big studio filmmaking. Performance and characters. Acting in a motion capture world is different. The performances are hybrids of human nuance and digital translation. Sam Worthington and Zoe Saldana anchor the film with steady parental gravity. The real scene stealers are the children. The film succeeds most when it commits to the Sully family as a coherent unit with internal conflicts and stakes that feel personal, not just plot-driven. Kate Winslet and Sigourney Weaver add layers, but the script often sidelines them under spectacle. The emotional center is simple, a family on the run, and simple here is both a strength, it's accessible, and a limitation. It doesn't surprise. Script and pacing critique. Now for the controversy, the screenplay. Critics and audiences agreed that while the visuals were extraordinary, the narrative structure is straightforward, sometimes to a fault. Cameron doubles down on classic blockbuster beats: invasion, chase, tribe integration, and a final defense of home. But repetition counts. Repeating the original's moral scaffolding risks diminishing returns. The runtime compounds this. Impressive set pieces are long, and long set pieces demand character stakes that escalate in complexity. Here, escalation is often literal, bigger threats, not psychological. That's the movie's biggest tension. Can spectacle substitute for surprise? For many viewers, yes, but for others, no. The result is a film that satisfies on sensory terms but leaves some story ambitions unfulfilled. Themes and subtext. Beneath the CGI, the film continues Cameron's environmental and anti-colonial through lines. The ocean becomes a living character. Its rhythms demand patience and respect. Family becomes both intimate and allegorical. The Sully family stands for stewardship and cultural preservation. Yet there is a repeated irony. The film preaches anti-colonialism while relying on blockbuster tropes that flatten nuance. Good tribe versus bad humans in a way that's rhetorically effective but simplistic. That said, the movie still raises powerful images about belonging, simulation, and sacrifice, especially in sequences where the Sully kids adapt to life with Metcaina clan. Comparisons: Avatar 2009 versus Way of Water. The first Avatar was revolutionary because it married an old mythic structure to a new visual language. Way of Water flips the ratio. The visual language is exponentially more advanced, but the mythic structure is recognizably the same. If the first film felt like an invitation to Marvel, the sequel feels like a grander, longer invitation. The question for franchise storytelling is, how many times can that invitation be extended before the novelty fades? Way of Water proves that world can sustain another film, but it also exposes an endurance limit for narrative repetition. What works best? Where the movie wins is intimacy framed by spectacle. Quiet parent-child moments, the culture learning montages with the Metcaina, and the undersea animal encounters that feel animated by curiosity rather than just threat. When Cameron trusts the small human moments between the chaos, the movie transcends typical summer fare and reaches something closer to myth. What fails? Where it fails is when the script substitutes scale for depth. Characters who deserve development become functionary vehicles for the next set piece. The villains are serviceable but under-textured. Their motivations are blunt, and the runtime becomes a liability when pacing stalls. These failings don't make the film bad, they make it uneven. Legacy and franchise outlook. Given its box office performance and awards recognition, Way of Water secured the franchise momentum Cameron wanted. It also set a production bar that will be expensive and risky to repeat. The real legacy? The film reasserts that the theatrical experience can still be a cultural event, if studios are willing to pay for scale. But creatively, it leaves open whether future entries will prioritize narrative risk over technical escalation. My verdict: Avatar: The Way of Water is essential viewing for anyone interested in the state of spectacle filmmaking. Give it credit for ambition, craft, and emotional honesty in parts, but don't pretend it's a narrative masterclass. It isn't. If you love cinema as a visual and sensory medium, this will be a memorable theater experience. If you prize tightly woven fiction and thematic subtlety, you're leaving wishing Cameron had taken more narrative risks. I give it a technical masterpiece with a decent but controversial heart. Did you love it or think it's style over substance? Drop your take in the comments. I'll pin the most interesting reply and respond. If you want a deeper breakdown of visual effects and motion capture process, tell me and I make a follow-up deep dive. Like, subscribe and hit the bell if you want more honest controversial takes on big movies. Until next time, don't forget to enjoy cinema.